set up right now. I am. What is this on here? I'm going to. Okay, so where are we at now? We're at the wrong gate of ministries. Where is the gate? Right here. Right under the silver. Right under the silver deal. I mean, where the river is at. I can't see my finger that good. Right there. See it right there. Right above it. Right above it. Right above it. Right there. Just right above my head. So that's it right there. That's ministry is right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go begin over there. We're gonna be over there, and Mary and friends are gonna be there. Okay, so I'm gonna read a couple pages. Don't see how I feel. I may end up having to decide if I'm getting into it. I may decide to go and read into more further. Okay, I'm gonna disappear. Yay! Okay. A mist was in Mary's eyes of tears, and weariness when they drew near the ruined gate of ministries. He gave little heed to the wreck and slaughter that lay all about all. Fire and smoke and stench was in the air, for many engines had been burned or cast into the fire pits, and many of the slain also. While here and there lay many carcasses of the great southern monsters, half burned, or broken by stone casts, or shot through the eyes by the valiant archers of Morthor. The flying rain had ceased for a time, and the sun gleamed up above, but all the lower city was still wrapped in a smoldering reek. Already men were laboring to clear a way through the jet sound of battle. And now out of the gate came some bearing litters. Gently they laid Ewan upon soft pillows, but the king's body they covered with a great cloth of gold, and they bore torches about him. and their flames, pale in the sunlight, were fluttered by the wind. So Theoden and Eowyn came to the city of Gondor, and all who saw them bared their heads and bowed. And they passed through the ash and fume of the burnt circle and went on and up along the streets of stone. To marry the assassin Aegon, a meaningless journey and a hateful dream, going on and on to some dim ending that memory cannot seize. Slowly, the lights of the torches in front of him flickered and went out, and he went walking in a darkness, and he thought, this is a tunnel leading to a tomb. There we shall stay forever. But suddenly, into his dream, there fell a living voice. Well, Mary, thank goodness I have found you. He looked up and the mist before his eyes cleared a little. There was Pippin. They were face to face in a narrow lane, and but for themselves it was empty. He rubbed his eyes. Where is the king? He said, and Eowyn. Then he stumbled and sat down on a doorstep and began to weep again. They had gone up into the citadel, said Pippin. I think he must have fallen asleep on his feet and taken the wrong turning. When we found that you were not with them, Gandalf sent me to look for you. Poor old Mary. How glad I am to see you again. But you are worn out. And I won't bother you with any talk. But tell me, are you hurt or wounded? No, said Mary. Well, no, I don't think so. But I can't use my right arm, Pippin, not since I stabbed him. And my sword burnt all away like a piece of wood. Pippin's face was anxious. Well, you had better come with me as quick as you can, he said. I wish I could carry you, but you aren't fit to walk any further. They shouldn't have let you walk at all. But you must forgive them. So many dreadful things have happened in the city, Mary. That one poor hobbit coming in from the battle is easily overlooked. It's not always a misfortune being overlooked, said Mary. I was overlooked just now by... No. I can't speak of it. Help me, Pippin. It's all going dark again, and my arm is so cold. Lean on me, Mary lad, said Pippin. Come now. Foot by foot. It's not far. Are you going to bury me? Said Mary. No, indeed, said Pippin, trying to sound cheerful, though his heart was wrung with fear and pity. No, we are going to the houses of healing. They turned out of the lane that ran between tall houses and the outer wall of the fourth circle, and they regained the main street, climbing up to the center. Step by step they went, while Mary swayed and murmured as one asleep. I'll never get him more. Not Pippin. Is there no one to help me? I can't leave him here. Just then, to his surprise, a boy came running up behind. And as he passed it, he recognized Burgund's son. Hello, Burgle, he called. Where are you going? Glad to see you again. And still alive? I am running errands for the healers, said Virgil. I cannot stay. Don't, said Pippin, but I tell them up there that I have a sick hobbit. Imperion, mind you. Come from the battlefield. I don't think he can walk so far. If Mithridir is here, he will be glad of the message. Virgil ran on. I better wait here, thought Pippin. So he let Mary sink gently down onto the pavement in a patch of sunlight, and then he sat down beside him, laying Mary's head in his lap. He felt his body and limbs gently and took his friend's hands in his own. The right hand felt icy to the touch. It was not long before Gandalf himself came in search of them. He stooped over Mary and caressed his brow, and then he lifted him carefully. He should have been born in honor into the city, he said. He has well repaid my trust, for if Elrond had not yielded to me, neither of you would have set out, and then far more grievous would the evils of this day have been. He sighed, and here is another charge on my hands, while all the time the battle hangs in the balance. So at last, Faramir and Eowyn and Meriadoc were laid in beds in the houses of healing, and they were tended well. For though all lore was in these latter days fallen from its fullness of old, the leechcraft of Gondor was still wise and skilled in the healing of the wound in hurt. And all such sickness as east of the sea, mortal men were subject to, save old age only, for that they found no cure, and indeed the span of their lives had now waned to little more that of other men. Come here. And those among them who passed the tale of 50 years with figure were grown few, save in some houses of pure blood. But now their art and knowledge were baffled, for there were many sick of a malady that would not be healed, and they call it the Black Shadow, for it came from the Nazgul. And those who were stricken with it fell slowly into an ever deeper dream, and then passed to silence. and a deadly cold, and so died. And it seemed to the tenders of the sick that on the halfling and on the lady of Rohan, this malady lay heavily. Still, at whilst as the morning wore away, they would speak, murmuring in their dreams. And the watchers listened to all they said, hoping perhaps to learn something that would help them to understand the hurts. But soon they began to fall down into the darkness, and as the sun turned west, a gray shadow crept over their faces. But Faramir burned with a fever that would not abate. Gandalf went from one to the other full of care, and he was told that the watchers would hear. No. Until the day passed, while the great battle outside went on with shifting hopes and strange tidings, and so Gandalf waited and watched and did not go forth, till at last the red sunset filled all the sky, and the light through the windows fell on the gray faces of the sick. Then it seemed to those who stood by that, and the glow in the faces flushed softly as with hope returning. But it was only a mockery of hope. Then an old wife, Orith, the eldest of the women who served in that house, looking on the fair face of Faramir, wherefore all the people loved him. And she said, "Alas, if he should die, would that there were..." Come on, Mama. There were kings in Gondor, as there were once upon a time, they say. For it is said in an old lore, the hands of the king are the hands of a healer. And so the rightful king could ever be known. And Gandalf, who stood by, said, "Men may long remember your words, Iris, for there is hope in them. Maybe a king has indeed returned to Gondor. Or have you not heard the strange tidings that have come to the city? I have been too busy with this and to that to heed all the crying and shouting," she answered. "All I hope is that those murdering devils do not come to this house and trouble the sick." And Gandalf went out in haste, and already the fire in the sky was burning out, and the smoldering hills were fading, while ash-gray evening crept over the fields. Okay, I'm going to stop here. And I will continue tomorrow. Okay. Laters.